Groove City.
Hey, what's up? I'm Lefty.
And I'm Rich Furniss, and welcome to another episode of Groove City.
Yes, we are very excited to welcome two extremely talented producers and DJs located right here in New York City. Please welcome Kenny and Drew from Rain. What's up, guys?
Oh, how we doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Been talking about this for a while, so excited to get you in the building.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Let's kind of dive right into it, I guess. I mean, how did you guys link up and where did you guys meet? And then we can kind of talk about how you guys got into the whole music side and together, pretty much.
Yeah. So we linked up back in Tampa about. We've known each other. We were in the.
Are y'all from Tampa?
Yeah, we're from Tampa originally.
Cool.
A couple Florida boys in there.
There you go.
Kinda.
We got another one sitting next to y'all.
Yeah, I had a good 10,
yeah.
11-year run in the old FL.
Nice.
Yeah.
About 7 for me. So
Oh, yeah. You got out nice
how
and
was
early.
how was the scene down in Tampa for you guys when you guys were down there?
It was good. You know, there's a few good clubs down there, and we had a group of collective, if you will, of other fellow music producers and stuff.
Nice.
And it was right after COVID though, when Drew and we just started working on some collabs together.
Nice.
And it was going great. Better.
What kind of collabs were you guys starting with at first when you guys first started working together?
There was Tech House.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, we were going in on some tracks, and
You had a previous project
I
that was
did.
more in the disco house lane.
Yeah. I mean, it was still kind of some of it was, but
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, remind me the name. We talked about this and I freaked out. I was like, that's you?
Casey Gilmore. was
Casey
the-
Gilmore,
Casey.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
And yeah, I had my own thing, and he was just starting on his own thing, and it was just we started collabing, and we were like, man, this is something special, so we should do our own project together.
Nice. And I was here in New York. You guys started collaborating.
Well, no,
back in Tampa.
That was in Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then
you guys both
decided-
decided to move up here at the same time, like together?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said I'm moving up to New York. I was like, not without me. I'm going.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Getting out of Tampa's become really popular, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
that's a big
growing, yeah.
tour stop now for a lot of, especially tech house DJs.
yeah, it's growing. The scene. I mean, the city's growing, so the
Yeah.
scene's in turn growing. But Tampa's always home for me. But
What inspired the move up to New York? Was it just like ready for a bigger pond, bigger ocean?
Yeah, it was really to chase the dream. We wanted to make music happen. So we
The
had
land
a
of
few-
opportunity.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
had a few buddies up here too. A good
So
friend
you
of
didn't
mine.
start kind of cold. You had a couple of people to start the network with.
Yeah, a good buddy of mine, Tone Troy, was up here.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of our other friends and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah,
And you guys jumped right into it. Nervous release. You guys are like representing New York pretty hard.
yeah.
So that's really
Nervous is
exciting.
Sweet with Kyle Kench.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys have done a bunch of stuff with Kyle, right?
Yeah.
We got a few more coming too.
Awesome.
How did you feel like coming up from Tampa to New York? Was it tough to break in, or were you guys able to kind of create your footholding quickly?
I would say it happened kind of quickly, at least like just from like the group of friends we kind of were associating with, and in the scene we're part of, I guess. But
It was cool to go to like some of the more underground shows.
Yeah.
Because we were hearing
That's
this.
where the best stuff in New York is. Always all the underground
Yeah,
stuff.
we were hearing some tech house music that we'd never even heard before. So it was a nice change, and it really inspired us in the studio, I think. Like,
oh yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
then we got nervous right after that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like the week we moved up here. I was like the week or two after we got the news that we were getting a Nervous signing, which
Amazing.
was really cool. It was like a welcome to New York kind of thing.
It was
So-
meant
Yeah.
to be. It was
Yeah.
meant to be.
Yeah, it was
Dude,
really
that's
cool.
sick.
Yeah.
So then, what got you guys originally into dance music in general and producing dance and kind of like,
yeah.
if there's anything before inspiration that you were into, different genres and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I mean, I before I was doing dance music, I actually was an engineer for like rock, punk, hardcore kind of stuff, and I
Very
did that.
Florida.
Yeah.
Very Florida. Yeah, facts.
I did that for like 7, 8 years or so, but really it was as simple as I went to a festival. My friends dragged me out to a festival, and it was Sunset Music Festival in
That's
Tampa.
the second time we've heard that in
Yeah.
this
It's more
podcast.
than a second. I feel like we've heard that a bunch.
The
Yeah.
festival,
People get
the first
dragged.
festival experience.
Yeah,
or, like,
people get
first
dragged
Mirage.
after their first
Yeah.
festival. Like, what is this music?
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. It was house music at the house stage, and I was
Nice.
like, this is
Do
something
you remember what the
special.
artist was?
I think actually it was Benny Benassi.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
nice.
wow.
I was like, man, this is
Legend.
sweet. Yeah.
He's dope.
When was that? Back when?
Oh man, this must have been let's see, probably 2014.
Okay.
Nice.
2015.
What about for you?
Yeah, I was listening to like Martin Garrix, Skrillex, Calvin Harris, stuff like that, making mixes on Audacity. Like,
Nice. Oh,
remember
I had
that
my
one?
Audacity
Yeah.
days, baby.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
back in the day, just putting stuff together, and then
That like
eventually,
2012, 2014 era.
yeah, like 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Right in between the
just
two.
like
I wasn't too
yeah,
far
yeah,
off.
yeah, right in there, yeah,
Just
right.
kidding around. Nice.
But yeah, then just got into like all kinds of different stuff, house music. I was in dubstep for a little bit.
Man, I had my dubstep phase for sure,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So you kind of started more as a DJ then first, and you kind of started more as an engineer.
Yeah.
When did you get into DJing?
It would have been right around that same time, right around after that festival. I was like, got a XDJ1 and started playing around.
That was kind of a really interesting time for house music and dance music in general, because that was kind of just after the mega reach of EDM and all that whole scene, and then like going into like 2016, 2017, things started kind of changing to techno, getting really popular, and like tech house started like really getting big in like the underground.
Future house.
Yeah.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
John Diablo hexagon movement
Dude, I love that
was really
stuff.
big 2015, 2016.
Yeah, good times.
It's just changed so much over the years. That was a good time. I was just thinking back to it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's interesting seeing like that first like new wave of tech house coming out too. Like, and it was like what 2017 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started getting really popular, like more underground
Right,
style,
yeah.
before it went full on just like samples and drops. You know, where we're at now, but it's cool. There's still some good stuff happening for sure.
Yeah.
Sick. Which DAW do you guys produce? And were you guys always working in the same software when you started collaborating?
That's actually a funny story. Yeah, so I was
Pro Tools.
Well, no, I
figured from the engineering background, I was like,
can give
instantly
my-
Pro Tools.
I can give the whole thing. I started on Cubase. I was on Cubase for like 5 years, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I went to Logic 9, then Logic 10.
Boo,
and then
Logic.
Yeah, we found
No,
that out.
that's Lefty's. That's
I'm
Lefty's
Logic
dog.
King. Yeah. It's
So,
okay.
I'm the Ableton one. He's the Logic one. So
Right.
whenever we bounce stuff back and forth, it's
Yeah.
always kind of
just
a,
stems, you know,
Yeah,
like
stems.
everybody else, the old school.
Old
He
school.
started on Logic, and I had used Logic, and I was like, all right, well, because I was using Ableton when we started, and I was like, all right, let me go back to Logic. I'll give it a go so we could try to make these collabs work a little faster.
We did like a year in Logic.
About a year, and then I was like, Drew, you gotta try Ableton, And,
Kenny's like, I got an extra copy of Ableton. Please download it right now.
Made your life a lot
and
easier.
it's been that way for these 3 years.
What
but,
what did make you decide to switch to Ableton? Like, what aspects do you feel like you weren't getting out of Logic?
I would say it was just the
Snap.
the snapping automation, the copying things over, it was faster to write.
Yeah.
For me,
For sure. That's
and-
why I like Ableton. It's a lot faster for me to write.
Yeah.
and
like,
manipulate
click.
samples and do
Right.
stuff. It's just what you're fast in,
Yeah, and actually just recently, like last month, I got Studio One. And
Yeah, Studio
Oh,
One's
wow.
nice.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, it's actually I'm really loving it.
I've heard good
They did a
things.
whole renaissance on it. Like, right, they added a bunch of new features and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
and
fantastic. I'm not using it necessarily for writing right now, but I'm stemming out our tracks when we're done and pulling
Mixing.
them in. And I have like my mixer again, because that's what as an engineer I always loved. You kind of need that.
Yeah.
And Ableton is always, it's not really
So you're using an outboard mixer.
well, not
like a
not-
console.
Not, but it's like set up. It has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
routing like. Because Ableton doesn't really have that kind of classic sends, busing and all that. It's really nice. It's sounding great. I do feel like I have a little bit of more of it. It has more of an edge. Like when I'm making moves and stuff, and the way it's handling summing, like it sounds pretty clean. So
Nice.
Yeah, especially with the actual faders now. Like that's a new change as of.
yeah, I just
I
got the
also feel like
controller,
everybody
too.
also talks about Ableton too not being great for mixing because how it sums stuff, it kind of has a very distinct tone that kind of like mellows the track, if that makes sense. It kind of like
Sure.
kills some of the high frequency.
Yeah, I've been hearing that now in Studio One. It's like I'm hearing like my EQ decisions are happening in like a little easier than they were. I'm finding things I'm finding, So
Interesting. I always felt like
Yeah.
Ableton had like a really slick sound,
Yeah.
almost like it was too smooth, and then
I
like
feel like you could tell what somebody like mixed and mastered something by hearing that. Like, I know I can definitely tell a Fruity Loop song. I can usually tell an Ableton. I can definitely tell a Pro Tools. There's a different, distinct way on how it sums everything and bounce out the master.
yeah, absolutely.
I think if you start to finish in Ableton, it has a sound. But I think a lot of people who use like mastering engineers who go through something else, it changes it.
Usually
Yeah.
Logic
There it
or
is.
Pro Tools.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Pro Tools has a good raw sound to it. I wanted to ask you this, and so getting into engineering, were you like a musician first, or like what made you get into like the studio?
Yeah.
In that capacity, I guess.
Yeah, so I was playing in a band, like a punk rock band back in the day, and I
From
was,
Tampa.
yeah,
What was it called?
Reveal Renew.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
And
Lefty had his punk rock, not
Oh,
really
yeah.
punk
Yeah.
rock, but
You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
call it scrams now. I just learned. Have you heard of this?
Grams
Yeah.
for what?
it's like there's all right. Well, this is. I don't want to waste too much time, but there's a niche of like mid 90s like emo stuff, like screamo, but like that's changed a lot. So now they just call it scrams to just identify this one short moment in time.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you're probably right in that pocket there.
Yeah,
closer.
Close.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I was playing bass, and I had started really in high school. I was starting like also while I was in the band, I was starting to record other bands in Tampa.
Nice.
On the weekends and stuff.
When you're the one guy that does it, everybody's like, "Hey, we can get in there."
I just, did my band stuff, and I dropped out of college the second semester, and I did full-time engineering for like those 4 years for what would have been my college years.
At a studio, or
like
like your own spot?
Opened up my own studio.
Yeah,
we did like a split space, had like a merch press in the back and a venue in the front kind of situation.
Band's dream hang, dude. Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But that's did all that, and then I got dragged to the fest. So then I was like, all right, I want to make my own stuff,
Yeah,
because I was always having to mix other people's records, which I love to do it, but having that that's why I fell in love with electronic, was because I had like that full control of something that I created
just by yourself and not having to deal with all the chemistry of three other a-holes kind of making judgment calls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it goes, man. It's hard, when you got a lot of personalities in the room and everybody's making decisions.
I always said like at any point it'd be like 3-4 bands I'm like kind of working between, and there's 5 people in each band, and they all have their notes, and it's like kind of becomes a lot and can suck the the love out of why I was doing it. So
for sure,
well, that's an interesting thing. I feel like there's a lot of duos starting, a lot of tag team groups and stuff like that. How does that work for you guys? Because we haven't had a lot of producer duos on here. Like, do you guys have a formula of kind of like what you guys focus on when you guys are producing together, and then kind of like the same question for when you guys are DJing together? Kind of how do you handle that dynamic?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, depends how we start. We've been using the TR8 lately with the the synth, and then also we'll bounce ideas off each other. Sometimes we'll be working on the same desktop, but sometimes we'll just kind of bounce off each other's tracks, and like one person will be working on something and then be like, "Oh, this idea is sick. Yeah, let's run it," and then we'll finish it in a week.
This guy's great at starting ideas, which is perfect for me because I was always a finisher.
So I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
If you guys
I feel like there's
usually
usually that dynamic in most groups that I've seen. Is usually have somebody who kind of like starts, push a bunch of ideas, and you have somebody who kind of helps to finish them.
He crushes it. I'm just like, dude, keep writing ideas, and I'll take them, and they'll just even be like half a song. Yeah, and then I'll be like, I hear it, like I'll take it.
I know what to do. Yeah. It's just task work at that point.
I feel like Lefty is a finisher, and I'm a starter.
Yeah. Also a starter.
I mean, you're the whole show, baby. But
I'm just playing around. Do you ever like step up and mix stuff, or do you kind of just end up mixing it all?
Stuff,
that's the goal eventually, is to we could both
be running the studio powerhouse.
Yeah. I could see how it might be intimidating, him having all the experience and then being like,
well, actually kind of is nice because then I can focus on writing, and then
facts.
That makes a lot of sense.
Just crank out tunes like
sick.
So it makes it easy. Usually our sound
right in the beginning, and I'm all about, like I've been telling him, don't even worry about processing, just get a vibe
that is
game
really
stage,
good.
Get it right. And it's kind of nice because we have a very similar style from the start anyway. Like,
that's perfect.
It was great. Anytime I write anything, Kenny's like, "This is sick."
It's great. It's
nice.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle it as far as DJing? Do you guys have like a formula? You go song for song, 3 for 3, kind of feel out the vibe when you're like, "Oh shit, I have something for this."
Yeah, we kind of. It's usually 1 for 1, but sometimes I'll be like, "I got 2."
Yeah, when we got 4 decks for sure.
4 will make it easier.
It's nice. We just got the V10, so we've been like
sweet.
A lot easier to keep your hands occupied on there with the sends and different
the dual cues for us.
Yes,
for sure. Is awesome.
Mega,
that's a game changer for.
Not having to switch headphones constantly.
I feel like a lot of the mixers now are all doing that standard because there are so many duos and tag sets happening. Like the A9 now has it as well.
Yeah, A9's nice.
So,
it's great.
That makes it a lot of fun for us. Like, and then we pretty much just freestyle most of the time, and he'll play something, and I'll be like, okay, cool, we're right in the zone.
Yeah, do you guys like show prep or like together or separately? I mean, maybe not writing like a whole playlist that you're gonna play through, obviously, but like make a folder of tracks. Are you kind of separate on like okay, here's a gig coming up, like I would probably play these songs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, before each show we'll go through our in-flight, go through like anything anyone sent us, and we like to playlist our stuff out by like genres.
Yeah.
And that way we could dip in and out of different ones, and they all kind of work together. But
6-7 different folders that you can just choose from.
And then they're all bangers, so anyone you play will be good.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've been setting myself up too, right?
High fidelity, able to rip the club. Like, we know they sound good. They're prepped. Like, hear them in the studio. So usually we do that mostly together.
Yeah.
Nice.
If either of us decides that it's not a good track, then we throw
It's
it in
vetoed out.
Yeah.
It's the hard feelings. There's so many. I'm like, all right, if you don't like it, then we won't do it.
Yeah. Do you love it? I was like, no.
Easy going.
Yeah.
You guys seem super easy going. This is probably one of the easiest collabs I think I've ever met. So
Awesome.
that works out.
It works pretty nice.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. Like,
Nice.
usually we're just cracking jokes anyway. Like,
There you go.
get a lot of work done. Like,
So you guys are fairly new to New York, but you've made a pretty good, get your stamp in the scene here, signing to Nervous and all this stuff like that. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's kind of thinking about making that move out here? And like, how'd you guys get like submerged into the scene and like, how to build your network and things like that?
Yeah, I would say if someone is looking to come out here, it's definitely the right thing to do if you're taking it serious, because the scene is so large and there's so many different sections of the scene too. There's so much opportunity. There's got the biggest shows in the country. Then you have all these even smaller clubs, underground, afters, places.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
it's never ending.
It can be overwhelming at first. There's just there's so much going on in New York. It's like, what show am I going to? And but that's kind of the point. You come here and it's not hard to network if you just go out and show up.
Yeah,
and,
I think that's the way.
show
right?
up is definitely what I would say. Is just be there, go out, make connections, and also just make sure music's good.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that we hear from a lot of other guests too. I think 90% of it is just showing up and being there and like people seeing you, recognizing you, making those personal connections is such a big part, especially of the New York scene, because there are so many pieces of the scene and there's so many people. So if you're there, you're going to stand out and able to make that connection with people.
Kind of nice too, because there's so many different places that you can really find your niche place that you want to perform in. Like if you see yourself playing in a club, then go show up there. Go meet those people.
Yeah. And I think people seem really intimidating, but for the most part, everybody's like super nice. So I think you meet somebody, you tell them they're a DJ, they'll probably go check you out, and then maybe something will line up for it,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a way that rolls down.
Yeah.
What's next on the timeline for you guys? What do you got coming up? Any big plans that you want to share, or just kind of things that you're hopeful for?
Yeah, well, we're finishing out the year with a few singles. We're going to be putting them out on our own imprint.
What's the name of the imprint going to be?
It's Raindrops Records.
Nice.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
REIGN drops.
Yes.
Yeah, for all of those. So you guys got the spelling right.
So we got a few singles coming out, and it's just ones we've been, kind of sitting on, and we're like, before we get into
It is time.
It is time. Yeah, it's time. Before the end of the year, because we have
bunch set up for 25, like bunch of collabs, stuff like that.
Nice.
Kind of get more into the collabs next year.
Any other collabs you want to mention besides Kyle?
Yeah, we've got we're working on one with a friend of ours we met on just through Instagram, but he's down in Mexico City, Mark Frost. Yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
Youngster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good. It's good. We're stoked on that one. What's some of the other ones we got?
We got Tone Troy, Neighbors.
Yep. Collab with Neighbor.
Natalie.
Yep. Yeah, Natalie Maida. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, she's a singer we met through a friend group, and
Nice.
So we're stoked. It'll be cool to go in like a collab season and kind of grow with people up here too. Build the community.
Yeah,
up here
double the audience every release right there.
The one with Natalie, and that's one's with Eternity too.
Oh, nice.
So
shout out Andrew. Sick.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
So
that's cool. You guys connected with him.
Yeah, and I think we'll potentially be seeing another Jack City release again.
Yeah, working with Penta.
Yeah, you guys already had one with Jack City. Which other labels you guys had? I know you guys have had some pretty dope releases.
We had Ferris Wheel last year.
Ferris Wheel, Street Tracks.
Yeah, we got a Street Tracks in there, and those were the most recent ones.
Yeah, Obsessions.
Dylan Nathaniel's label.
Nice.
Shapeshift by those guys. And then we're stoked. It'll be cool. I'm excited for like collab season, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if there's anything else you guys want to mention, feel free to just kind of let everybody know where they could find you on social media so they can keep following you and track of everything you guys got coming up.
Yeah, you can follow us on every platform. It's just at Raindrops Music. That's REIGN, Raindrops Music.
Nice.
And yeah.
Awesome.
Been great.
We're really excited for your DJ set coming up.
Make sure y'all check that out. It'll be in the link right below.
Yeah.
We want to give a quick shout out to Sound Collective for letting us film here. You guys can get a membership and utilize all of the equipment in this room for one monthly fee. We also have online classes that you guys can check out and learn any discipline from DJ, production, bass, guitar, and vocals.
Yes. Big thank you to Rain for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
And
thank
we'll
you
check
guys,
out your
for sure.
DJ set in a little bit.
Make sure y'all check it out. I'm Rich Furniss.
And I'm Lefty. Thanks for watching.